Alright, so I found some good batteries in the camera case I completely forgot about, so I thought to myself I should probably make a video describing how Israel got their Mausers and how mine got to Israel. So after Israel became a nation, they were in dire need of weapons of any type: tanks, machine guns, submachine guns, bolt action, semi-autos, anything they could get a hold of. And their first priority, the first things that they most likely got were Mausers such as this, and next video is on the 3030. Alright, so going back on topic, they got MP40s, I think MG42s even, I'm not sure. But this Israeli Mauser, it's unloaded. This Israeli Mauser was one of, I think, 5,000 or 7,000 made for Sweden in 1940. Once they got to Sweden, it was rebarreled to 8 by 63 millimeter. It had, if it would have had its original Swedish barrel, it would have had a muzzle brake right there, because that round was made for their machine guns, and the rifle, when it got there, was intended for machine gunners, a rifle. So like if the machine gun gets knocked out, if they ever went to combat with these, they could take the ammo from the machine gun and fire it into these. But sometime after 1945, I think either 46 or 47, these were sent to Israel to help with their independence wars, which I think started in 1948, or that's when they became a nation. I don't know. Then in the 1950s, this was 1957. Mine was rebarreled to 7.62 NATO. This is a 308 Winchester steel case round that I kind of did a little experiment with. So it's kind of this is a steel case, so it kind of lost all of its finish on it. But this is what it generally would look like. I don't have any brass at the moment. And then compared to 8mm and 30-06, this is Greek surplus. This is Yugoslavian 8mm. And by far, this is one of my favorite rounds to shoot. It's just a fun round. But when these are being refurbed, it's pretty much what the Russians were doing, except with the exception of keeping the bolts original to the receiver. Some, like mine, was already matching that when it got to Israel sometime in the 40s, and like most of the Mausers that they got a hold of, they were completely mismatched. They weren't Russian captures, but they were mismatched completely. So like they would take whatever bolt came with the rifle and they would scrub off the original numbers right here and then renumber it from the receiver's number to the bolt handle. But my bolt was already matching to the receiver when they got it, because there's no grinding marks that I can find on it, and it still got the original letter block on this. This serial number is 7614F, same as the bolt, but that's the only matching part. But other than that, like bolt shrouds, extractors, caulking pieces, firing pin springs, sights, the lever for the sights, barrel bands, everything was thrown into different piles. And then the swastika would be X'd out. Some Israeli Mausers are still in 8mm, but those are really hard to find here. And then, but the ones that were rechambered were marked with 7.62, standing for 7.62 NATO. And they even made their own replacement stocks out of, I think, birchwood or beechwood, I don't know. And those would have 7.62 burned into the bottom of the stock next to the swing swivels down here. When I got mine, it came in a hunting stock, and then I ordered this stock out of Norway for 150. Everything on the stock matches itself except for the handguard, which is a red glue laminate. Wall marks on the stock are 280, but the wall marks on the rifle are 226. So this is the correct stock for when this rifle was made. The guy will well, I have trouble speaking right now. When this stock was sent to me, the guy threw in the sling for free. So that's an added bonus. And what the Norwegians did with their stocks is, when they were being refurbished, they added their own serial number and crossed out the original one that would have been right there. And then I'm going to put it in safety to show you something. Sorry about that. So here is a 30-06 round. As you can see, it's pretty much, you can't chamber that. Here's an 8mm round. It can still be inserted. The bolt is on safety, so it cannot fire, but it can be inserted to about there. Just the cocking lug, the bolt lug can't go in. So, and then I'm not going to chamber this since it's kind of rusty, but that's the reason why I don't want to chamber it. When also what Israel did with their bayonets that they got a hold of too in the shipments, they actually got a bunch of German bayonets too, and they would add let's get a bayonet from over here that's still out. They would add the muzzle ring. They would add a muzzle ring here, and then pretty much just cross out the wall marks on the bayonets. And then with the sights, since they couldn't get all the wall marks and swastikas off, they just pretty much left some of them. Like this sight is an S42G, which is, I think, early 1935 or 1936. I can't remember. But and then it has some wall marks here, and then same with the sight base right here. And then there's actually, with this bolt, there's actually still a swastika that can be seen on the bolt handle right here. So, and then the Israelis also made sniper rifles out of these. They had a 4-power scope, and I think they'd be mounted here or here. And they even made their own sight hoods, or recycled German ones. And then they would put holes in them right through here. Actually, let me get my Yugo so I can actually show you. Alright, so they would have holes that here and then about there. So they could adjust the sights if they needed to. And then just to show you the receiver markings, 243 coded 1940. In Sweden, this would have been classified as a M40 rifle. You can see the red glue right there, I think. Maybe not. Pretty much after these were put into storage, after they were rebarreled and reworked, they were put into storage, or maybe used a little bit and then put into storage. I think, luckily, I can't remember, this might be one of the earlier 80s imports or 90s imports. The imports that are coming in now are actually from Guatemala, and they are just heavily pitted. Like, sometimes you won't even be able to see receiver markings at all. But this is I think this is like a 90s import. It's one of the better conditioned ones. So I think this rifle came from, it's ex-German, ex-Swedish, maybe ex-Guatemalan. It might be one of the better Guatemalan ones that was imported. Or it's just ex-German, ex-Swedish, ex-Israeli. Probably about it. Next video will be up shortly I don't want to make this one too long. Not a big fan of long videos most of the time. So, and there's evidence of Israel getting some VZ24s, because this is actually a VZ24 trigger guard, because it's got the circle Z mark, which stands for the, it's one of the acceptance marks for those rifles. So, and I think this one was the VZ24 trigger guard too. It's got the same style of hole. It's been completely scrubbed here. So that's about it. I'm gonna stop this here, and the next video will be up sometime shortly.